صل على محمد وآل محمد وأجل فرجهم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. السلام عليك يا أبا عبد الله. السلام عليك يا ابن رسول الله. السلام عليك يا ابن أمير المؤمنين وابن سيد الوسيم. السلام عليك يا ابن فاطمة سيدة نساء العالمين. السلام عليك يا ثار الله وابن الثار والوتر الموتور. السلام عليك وعلى الأرواح التي حلت بفنائك. عليكم مني جميعا سلام الله أبدا ما بقيت وبقي الليل والنهار. يا أبا عبد الله لقد عظمت الرذية وجلت وعظمت المصيبة بك علينا وعلى جميع أهل الإسلام. وجلت وعظمت مصيبتك في السماوات على جميع أهل السماوات. فلعن الله أمة أسست أساس الظلم والجور عليكم أهل البيت. ولعن الله أمة دفعتكم عن مقامكم وأزالتكم عن مراتبكم التي رتبكم الله فيها. ولعن الله أمة قتلتكم. ولعن الله الممهدين لهم بالتمكين من قتالكم. برئت إلى الله وإليكم منهم ومن أشياعهم وأتباعهم وأوليائهم. يا أبا عبد الله إني سلم لمن سالمكم وهرب لمن هاربكم إلى يوم القيامة. ولعن الله آل زياد وآل مروان. ولعن الله بني أمية قاطبا. ولعن الله ابن مرجانا. ولعن الله عمر بن سعد. ولعن الله شمرا. ولعن الله أمة أسرجت وألجمت وتنقبت لقتالك بأبي أنت وأمي لقد أضم مصابي بك فأسأل الله الذي أكرم مقامك وأكرمني بك أن يرزقني طلب ثارك مع إمام منصور من أهل بيت محمد صلى الله عليه وآله. اللهم اجعلني عندك وجيها بالحسين عليه السلام في الدنيا والآخرة. يا أبا عبد الله إني أتغرب إلى الله وإلى رسوله وإلى أمير المؤمنين وإلى فاطمة وإلى الحسن وإليك بمبالاتك وبالبراءة ممن أساس ذلك وبنى عليه بنيانه وجرى في ظلمه وجوره عليكم وعلى أشيائكم. برئت إلى الله وإليكم منهم وأتغرب إلى الله ثم إليكم بمبالاتكم ومبالاة وليكم وبالبراءة من أعدائكم والناصبين لكم الهب وبالبراءة من أشيائهم وأتباعهم. إني سلم لمن صالمكم وحرب لمن حاربكم وولي لمن والاكم. فأسأل الله الذي أكرمني بمعرفتكم ومعرفة أوليائكم ورزقني البراءة من أعدائكم أن يجعلني معكم في الدنيا والآخرة وأن يثبت لي عندكم قدم صدق في الدنيا والآخرة. وأسأله أن يبلغني المقام المحمود لكم عند الله وأن يرزقني طلب ثاري مع إمام هدى ظاهر ناطق بالحق منكم وأسأل الله بحقكم وبالشأن الذي لكم عنده أن يعطيني بمصابي بكم أفضل ما يعطي مصابا بمصيبة ما أعظمها وأعظم رزيتها في الإسلام وفي جميع السماوات والأرض. اللهم اجعلني في مقامي هذا ممن تناله من صلوات ورحمة ومغفرة. اللهم اجعل محياي محيا محمد وآل محمد ومماتي ممات محمد وآل محمد. اللهم إن هذا يوم تبركت به بنو أمية وابن آكلة الأكباد اللئين ابن اللئين على لسانك ولسان نبيك صلى الله عليه وآله في كل موطن وموقف وغفى فيه نبيك صلى الله عليه وآله. اللهم الآن أبا سفيان ومعاوية ويزيد بن معاوية عليهم منك اللعنة أبدا الآبدين. وهذا يوم فرغت به آل زياد وآل مروان بقتلهم الحسين صلوات الله عليه. اللهم فضائف عليهم اللعن منك والعذاب الأليم. اللهم إني أتقرب إليك في هذا اليوم وفي موقفي هذا وأيام حياتي بالبراءة منهم واللعنة عليه وبالموالاة لنبيك وآل نبيك عليه وعليهم السلام. اللهم الآن أول ظالم ظلم حق محمد وآل محمد وآخر تابع له على ذلك. اللهم لعن الإصابة التي جاهدت الحسين وشايعت وبايعت وتابعت على قتله. اللهم لعنهم جميعا. السلام عليك يا أبا عبد الله وعلى الأرواح التي هلت بفنائك عليك مني سلام الله أبدا ما بقيت وبقي الليل والنهار ولا جعله الله آخر العهد مني لزيارتكم السلام على الحسين وعلى علي بن الحسين وعلى أولاد الحسين وعلى أصحاب الحسين اللهم خص أنت أول ظالم باللعن مني وابدأ به أولا ثم لعن الثانية والثالثة والرابع اللهم الآن يزيد خامسا والآن عبيد الله بن زياد وابن مرجانا وعمر بن سعد وشمرا وآل أبي سفيان وآل زياد وآل مروان إلى يوم القيامة. سجد. اللهم لك الحمد حمد الشاكرين لك لا مصابهم الحمد لله على عظيم رزيتي اللهم ارزقني شفاعة الحسين يوم الورود وثبت لي قدم صدق عندك مع الحسين وأصحاب الحسين الذين بذلوا محجهم دون الحسين عليه السلام.
اله من اله حسین برا من بس نگاه حسین برا من فقط وطن کربلا برام بهترین پناه حسین غم یکی حسین یکی خدا حسین یکی خدا یکی شد یکی کربلا یکی غم یکی خدا یکی، کعبه شد یکی، یک کربلا یکی. یا حسین بگو شدی فدا یکی، که فدات میشن حالا یکی یکی، که فدات میشن حالا یکی یکی. نفس میکشن هوای تو رو، شنیدم از دل مقتل صدای تو رو. چی میخوام ازت دعای تو رو، نگاه میکنم با حسرت شهدای تو رو. رو سفیدم کن، شهیدم کن، رو سفیدم کن، شهیدم کمکم به جونت، بچه ها رو خوابوندم تو سخت‌ترین شام غریبون عالم. حالا توی این بیابون دنبال تو میگردم، گل نازم خیلی پریشون حالم. کجایی گل نازم، صدا کن منو بازم. کجایی گل نازم، صدا کن منو بازم. بیا تا برات از دستام گهواره بسازم. بیا تا برات از دستام گهواره بسازم. لالایی لالایی، یعنی الان کجایی؟ لالایی لالایی، کجای کربلایی؟ لالایی لالایی، یعنی الان کجایی؟ لالایی لالایی، نگیر رو نیزه هایی، نگیر رو همه حتما میدونه این رازو.
صل على محمد وآل محمد. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. أولئك على هدى من ربهم أولئك على هدى من ربهم وأولئك هم المفلحون. إن الذين كفروا سواء عليهم إن الذين كفروا سواء عليهم أنذرتهم أم لم أأنذرتهم أم لم تنذرهم لا يؤمنون. ختم الله على قلوبهم وعلى سمعهم وعلى سمعهم وعلى أبصارهم غشاوة ولهم عذاب عظيم. ولهم عذاب عظيم. ومن الناس من يقول آمنا بالله وباليوم الآخر وما هم بمؤمنين. يخادعون الله والذين آمنوا يخادعون الله والذين آمنوا وما يخدعون إلا أنفسهم وما يشعرون. في قلوبهم مرض فزادهم الله مرضا في قلوبهم مرض فزادهم الله مرضا ولهم عذاب أليم بما كانوا يكذبون. وإذا قيل لهم لا تفسدوا في الأرض وإذا قيل لهم لا تفسدوا في الأرض قالوا إنما نحن مصلحون. صدق الله العلي العظيم.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم، والصلاة والسلام على سيدنا ونبينا محمد وآله الطاهرين. My dear brothers and sisters, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. أعظم الله أجورنا وأجوركم بمصابنا بالحسين عليه السلام. For the honor of Abu Abdullah al-Hussein, please recite another loud salawat ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad. Before we continue with the rest of the program, I just wanted to give you my last update about the fundraising campaign that we started about 10 nights ago, or maybe a little bit less than that, last Saturday. Our goal was to raise about $70,000 to be able to establish new classrooms for the Aya Abrar Youth Academy weekend school here we have at Masjid Al-Nabi. Also to be able to resurface the playground area, and also to be able to cover some of the operating costs of the masjid. So far, we've raised around $53,000. That is basically the cash. We've not received all of it yet. So if you committed, if you pledged to pay, make sure you pay it. You can pay it in check, Zelle, whatever it takes. The doors are still open. You can contribute. You can go to hejrat.org. There is a bottom to donate. You can make reoccurring donations every month as well. We have credit card readers here. You can do that as well. You may have seen that right before the Maghrib prayer, they dropped few rolls of artificial turf. That is for the resurfacing of the playground area. 3 of our brothers that you may not even know, Brother Mahdy, Brother Ali, and Brother Wahid, I think they helped and donated those. Mostly one of them donated 1 full roll that is worth about $3,000. Another brother donated portions of another roll about worth of $1,000. They also delivered it. We're very appreciative of them for the health and well-being of these brothers and all who contributed. Donated during these 8 nights. Please recite a Fatiha with a loud salawat ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين. Thank you again, and thanks to all of the volunteers who helped during these nights. We had maybe more than 15, 20 people helping out. You may not see them all here, maybe more, because there are, like every night, there are 5 to 10 people in the kitchen preparing the food. There are 4 or 5 people, taking care of the sound, the cameras, the live stream we have. There are people busy with the kids program. We have 2 parallel kids programs, one for younger kids, one for a little bit older kids. So all of these take a lot of time and effort. We're gonna thank them. We're gonna have a special event for them and some appreciation of their hard work as well. So stay tuned for that, inshallah, in the next coming weeks, inshallah. We have a special piece of program tonight, and that is our respected sister Sarah Razavi is gonna recite some poetry for us. Let's welcome her with your loud salawat ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقه قولي. السلام على الحسين وعلى علي بن الحسين وعلى أولاد الحسين وعلى أصحاب الحسين جميعا ورحمة الله وبركاته. I was born to be at the sea. First and foremost, before I begin, I would like to send my condolences to the Imam of our time, Imam Mahdy Ajjallah Ta'ala Faraj al-Sharif, and Lady Fatima Salamullah alayha for the martyrdom of Imam al-Hussein alayhi salam. Salawat for their names. There's a common hadith, and I'm paraphrasing it, but it says that whenever you see water, remember Imam al-Hussein. And from that I realized that there is some sort of connection between the two. And inshallah, through this piece of poetry, I hope to answer this question. What is the connection? What sort of relationship do these two things have? And so for that reason, I was born to be at his sea, in his ocean's cradle, held amongst his waves and tides, carried by his rivers. Yeah, here I am, on land, far away from him. I was born to be at his sea, be amongst his waterfalls and fountains. Yeah, here I am, so I, at times, try to talk to him. Whether to the raindrops from the sky, or to the water in myself, to the pools of iris in my eyes, or to the water droplets in the air, his lakes, his oceans, his seas, I'd talk to him. I'd write love letters to him, placing them into bottles, whispering into some, folding some to paper boats, writing all of my hopes. I'd talk and I'd write. I'd talk and I'd write. I'd chase and I'd wish, chase every stream like a dandelion in the wind, wishing for him. I'd swim, attempted to drown. You can call me crazy, but look at sunsets, how it melts into his ocean, drowning in love with him. Look at the sky and how it blends with his sea. Look at the sand, how it cradles his shores. Look at seashells and how it whispers inside itself, longing for him. Look at space and how there is no life without him. Look at the sun and how it burns his water just so it can be a couple of light years closer to him. Look at the moon and how it tugs his tides. Look at plants, how it defies gravity, pulling him closer to each petal, leaf, and stem. Look at the clouds, how it clings on to him for as long as it can until it bursts. Look at yourselves, how you see him watering in your eyes, even though I did not say his name even once. Nothing was forced. It just happened this way, as if nature is in sync with Hussein. Call me crazy, call me a dreamer if you may. I'll gladly lose my mind, but look at lovers willing to lose hands and feet, arms and legs for him. So if I can't fly, I'd run. If I can't run, I'd walk. If I can't walk, I'd crawl. And if I can't crawl, I'd drown. So drown me in his ocean, down in his abyss, for within him lies the fountain of youth. So it does exist. They've just been looking for it at the wrong place. So the next time I see Karbala, the fountain of youth, I see an ocean of lovers, a kaleidoscope bursting with every shade and hue. Revolving, orbiting, breathing water, who willingly ripped out their lungs in exchange for gills, who gave up their legs to go there. So I drowned in his sea, only to come back as foam, as if life on land was worthless without having him. And here I am wondering why we know more about space than oceans, because the deeper one goes, the more pressure it exerts, as if knowing Hussein is almost impossible. A depth of love beyond human comprehension, for he was in every stage of existence, of being. As a matter of fact, before anything, God created water as an excuse to create him. God created water as an excuse to create him. So know that the earth implored, begged on its knees for him. And when Adam was formed, not perfected yet, without Hussein, it was not even human yet. And I wonder why living things are mostly made of water. As if Hussein flows in everything. So when the prophets before came, they all remembered, knew Hussein as if he was the center of the universe, the center of fabric of time. The wingless became angels. Angels came and visited him. Prophets cried for him. So know that when God created creatures of all kinds, humans and plants, humans and even atoms, they were all made for him even before his birth till now. So when the world hears his name, molecules rearrange themselves into snowflakes to beautiful patterns that no one can possibly imitate. When the world hears his name, eyes dip in sorrow like a pen and ink. So watch eyes write libraries throughout creation's history. His name wears away rocks, erodes mountains, carves lands, flows infinitely, ignites love across the world. Arba'in is my witness. His name engraved in everything I see. So even if dementia took a hold of me, made me forget everything, including my name, I'd still remember his name. His name sparked tears from the universe. So for each tear I'd see, I'd collect them with fireflies, store them, know that they're more valuable than any diamond or pearl. For each tear is a testament that without Hussein, life would not be known. And in every teardrop, a universe unfolds, a reflection of love that will never grow old. So when the sky rains, when storms rage on, when the world hurricanes, I stand with open arms, never with an umbrella, feeling heaven's tears on my face as it baptizes me into someone new. No wonder for every impurity we need water, because through Hussein we're renewed. No wonder a believer is like water. They purify those around them, because when Hussein is there, he erodes all sin, carving himself on my face like the Grand Canyon. No wonder you feel better near the ocean. And no, it's not blue mind theory, but rather because Hussein can be found. No wonder oceans can never be contained, because Hussein is an ocean himself. So much left to discover, boundless and unrestrained. No wonder the biggest charity is quenching one's thirst, for at each drop of water, Hussein is immersed. No wonder all du'as are heard under the rain, because Hussein implores God, please listen to their pain. So what is more Hussein than water? What is water without Hussein? So for every drop in rain, storm and flood, tsunami and hurricane, anything, water, I remember, I know it's Hussein. So I returned to water, and water remembered me, embraced, and surrounded me, flowed and plunged to me, never resisted me, reflected to me the person I was meant to be, a pearl in his ocean. He reached out and held my hands, caressed, cleaned, and healed all my cuts and bruises. And even when broken, damaged, and tossed, Hussein was never, ever ashamed to embrace me, always being there with me, held my pain as if mine meant everything, even amongst his own, washing my tears away like his tide and carried my sorrows like his wind. So when you call me crazy, fine. Let it be so, because I will hold on to him, unable to let go. Even when my hands are filled with blisters, I will dip my face to the ocean, begging my lungs to breathe water. I will drown in him, even when my body can no longer go on, because the pain of not having him is far worse than any pain I've ever known. Because when I lose him, I'd lose everything of me too. No wonder when Hussein fell, the Prophet would run to pick him up, as if the water in himself, his life fell with Hussein too. No wonder the Prophet would not go up from his sujood with Hussein on his back, because that was the weight of 1,000 oceans, 1,000 worlds, universes, with Hussein at its core. No wonder the Prophet would carry Hussein on his back, because who was a greater rider than the master of the youth of paradise? So know that even if Hussein stands before paradise, I will have no need to go in, because all I need is Hussein and no one else. Not even Jannah can persuade me to give him up for anything. So drag me if angels must, because Hussein runs thicker than any blood. And even if I were to be thrown into hell, simply because of loving him, I would. So I could brag to the devil that I saw heaven without even entering it. Hussein, my beacon of light and my ark of salvation, bathed in light, glittering like the sea. Hussein, and I wonder why we never forget, despite the many years that have gone by. Well, the thing is, rivers never stay the same, always changing, always flowing, never staying, just like his love. So rain, rain, come again, bring life to my thirsty plain. Show me your oasis, quench my thirst's pain. And even if I'm bare, drought-stricken, or flooded, he still pours his rain. Because since when did the rain care about the sins that I did? Hussein, God's grand tapestry of water. So through thunderstorms, rain clouds, and gray skies, I kneel, drown in your sea, longing for the one thing that has ever felt like home. So when Ali would speak to his well, when left all alone, it was as if he was speaking to Hussein, speaking to his home, while begging water to never leave him alone. So why did Sajjad speak to water, asking it where it was? Why did it not come when its master, its essence, was left all alone? Water, why did you not come when lungs collapsed? When did they started to suck your oxygen out, drowning a fish within its own water, sunk it to the top of spears, made it run out of air, and even still, he still continued to recite verses of Quran. Water, where were you when the thirst was unbearable, when he was soaked and death flooded it to those around him, watching blood spill back into the ocean continuously? Why did you not flood to him? Did you not see the ark of Noah collapse, drenched, drowning in his own blood, trampled by horses? Where were you when Karbala became an ocean, since it realized you weren't coming, as it soaked up every dried up tear and blood? Did you not hear cries and pleas, begging for a single drop of you? Where were you when they needed you the most, when throats were dried, hearts lost, friends after friends falling one after another? Habib and Zuhair, John and Burayd, Ali Akbar and Qasim, each heavier than the door of Khaybar, covered in more oceans than you ever could. Where were you when Abbas came for you? Why could you not move on your own, where there he stood, banner in his hand with arms severed, a bruise on his head, an arrow in his eyes, who fell with no hands? Did you not hear the sound of a burst water bag, a broken backbone? Why could you not move when an infant came with its parched lips, its glowing throat, and a three-pronged arrow? Where were you when hearts broke, heads severed, hooves over crushed bones, burnt tents and ripped veils and earrings? Why were you not there, absent? Did you not see a mother wail, watching her son being slain? The pearl of Muhammad crushed, with his blood mixed with dirt. His beard dyed with the blood of his 6-month-old infant, dyed with his own. Where were you? I heard, come hell or high water, they were going to watch Hussein, your essence, beheaded. Where were you when waves drowned me in his sorrow, when hearts were smashed into pieces, where hell seemed to be a bit better than Karbala, where the world seemed to be on fire and the sky was painted with smoke, where angels wailed begging God to let them come, where the earth trembled, oceans melted as if it was global boiling already, where everything insynced with Hussein, the sunsets and the sky, the sand and seashells, the space and the sun and moon, plants and clouds, everything drowned, died in water. And even after everything, they enslaved and chained what was left of them. They took them as captives, tried to burn them alive as much as they could, poked Hussein's lips, whipped, imprisoned, slapped, brought his head in a platter, did everything they could to them, to the point where Asham seemed to be the worst. But know that these are not just any captives. These are the captives from the family of Hussein. So where were you, water, when they needed you the most? But you couldn't come. It was never meant to be. But still, I wish I had a reason I could move on. When you did nothing and it's too late for apologies, and I can't say that I'm fine with you not being there, but each time I remember, it feels like I'm dying, barely surviving like a fish out of water. So despite everything, I'll keep on talking, writing, chasing, wishing, swimming, drowning, in hopes that one day, though I'm on land, I hope that one day I'll be back in his ocean, like hand in glove, an Atlantis of love, a realm of enigma where I can give my all for him. So take me to his sea. Take me to where I belong, because from his sea I was born, and to his sea I'll return after all. أفلح من صلى على محمد وآل محمد.
Thank you so much, Sister Sarah, for the beautiful poetry. These were all her own original poetry. By the way, she was a pillar to our kids program, coming up with very creative and beautiful activities for kids every night for the health and well-being of Sister Sarah and all of the other sisters who helped out with the kids program. Recite another salawat ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad. Without any further ado, let's welcome our respected scholar, Hujjatul Islam Dardashty, with the loud salawat ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad.
اللهم صل على محمد بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد والثناء لله رب العالمين الصلاة والسلام عليك يا أبا محمد يا علي بن الحسين أيها الزين العابدين يا زين العابدين يا حجة الله على خلقه يا سيدنا ومولانا إنا توجهنا واستشفعنا وتوسلنا بك إلى الله وقدمناك بين يدي حاجاتنا. All together, let's have our hearts fly to the land of Baqi, to the cemetery of Baqi, where Imam Sajjad alayhi salam has no shrine, no dhari, no dome, no visitor, and recite together Ya wajihan indallah ishfa' lana indallah Ya wajihan indallah ishfa' lana indallah. I thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for the blessing of being able to attend the majalis of Imam Hussein alayhi salam first and foremost. This night marks the end of the first 10 nights of Muharram program that the masjid had. So we thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala again for all of his blessings, and especially for the ni'mah and the blessing or the opportunity of being able to attend the majalis of Imam Hussein alayhi salam in this very first period of month of Muharram. That is number one. Number two is that, as I mentioned, tonight marks the anniversary of the martyrdom of Imam Ali ibn al-Hussein, Imam Sajjad Zain al-Abidin alayhi salam. 34 years after Karbala he lived. 34 years. And I'm really glad that our respected sister, in her spoken words and poetry, she touched on this. The comparing and contrasting and figuring out the similarities between water and the wujud or the existence of the Imam. The Holy Quran says, أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. It says, وَمِنَ الْمَاءِ كُلَّ شَيْءٍ حَيٌّ. It's from water that every living or everything in this world is living based on water. The majority of the has made up our body is water. But as many of the scholars, as many of the ulama and mufassirin, those who have written commentaries and exegesis on the Holy Quran have mentioned, this water is a resemblance of wilaya of Ahlul Bayt alayhim salam. It's resemblance of the Imam. And one time I was walking with one of the brothers, one of the scholars here in this region of Los Angeles, greater area that you all know of, Sayyid Abbas Razavian. We were walking in Masjid Jamkaran together. It was a long time ago. And then it started raining like crazy. And we had a conversation about how Imam is like rain. First of all, it's a sign of blessing of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, raining, right? Especially for a land that suffers from drought. Raining is a blessing, right? How much do you love to see raining in Los Angeles? When, especially in summer, in the heat and in the drought, so on and so forth. Said, number one, it's sign of the mercy of Allah. Rahmatullah al-wasa is the Imam. The vast mercifulness of Allah. Number two, rain does not discriminate. This sign of mercy of Allah does not say, okay, this house or this piece of land belongs to someone who does not obey Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Therefore, I'm going to refrain. Like the cloud says, this little house, people in that house dwelling or residing in that house are not praying, are not obeying Allah or worshipping Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Therefore, I'm going to deprive them from raining. No. When it rains everywhere. It does not discriminate like the Imam. Imam is a source of guidance, does not discriminate between the people. That is the difference of Islam with all these different schools of thoughts. There is no discrimination here. Imam does not discriminate. The same way Imam Hussein alayhi salam said to his companions that come to aid me on his journey to Karbala, the same way he said to the enemies, Hal min nasirin yansurani, aren't you going to come and help out? He was offering them a passage to rescue. He was offering them a way to escape from the hellfire. And he was not discriminating. Just because they hated Imam Hussein, or just because they expressed animosity, Imam did not discriminate them. The third one, the same way the rain washes the dirt, cleans everything, makes everything seem and be fresh, Imam purifies us. وَمَا خَصَّنَا بِهِ مِنْ وَلَایَتِكُمْ زِيَارَت جَامِعَ كَبِیرَ. That inshallah, I have a good news, and that is inshallah, we are going to recite Ziyarat Jami' Kabira very soon. keep an eye for the announcement of it. But وما خصنا به من ولایتكم طیبا لخلقنا و طهارة لأنفسنا و تزکیة لنا. You are the source of purification. انما يريد الله ليذهب عنكم الرجس اهل البيت و یطهرکم تطهیرا. You are the source of purification, and if anyone wants to be purified, it's only through you. وجعلنا من الماء كل شيء حي. Every living particle in this universe is alive because of the wujud of the Imam. And then we have بكم ينزل الغيث. It's because of you that the skies rain. ويمسك السماء أن تقع على الأرض. Number 4, the rain causes the trees to blossom and have fruits. Imam does the same thing. He gives us, he nurtures us, he gives us rushd and ta'ali and perfection. He makes us grow and become better. So therefore the comparison that the sister Alhamdulillah picked was a very good comparison. But let's get back to the topic that I wanted to touch on. I know we're out of time already, so inshallah I'm going to make my lecture shorter. But the life of Imam Sajjad alayhi salam was very challenging after Karbala. We usually do recite the marasi and the eulogies of the battlefield or the time of the battle of Karbala in the first 10 nights. Then we forget about the rest of it. The actual musibah, the actual bala started from the day of Ashura. So that this caravan of Imam Hussein alayhi salam that had the Imam of Imam Sajjad alayhi salam, and Lady Zainab was an assistance to Imam Sajjad alayhi salam, was going through this very difficult journey. Very, very difficult journey. If you want to imagine, if you want to have a sense of how it felt like to be in that time, it was a time of extreme political repression. Getting close to Ahlul Bayt alayhimus salam was a big crime, to the fact that there's a hadith from Imam Baqir alayhi salam that the meaning of this hadith is this: if someone was committing fornication, wouldn't be as bad as if they were getting close to us. Absolute atrocity. Severe political repression. In such time, Imam Sajjad alayhi salam preserved Islam. The true Muhammadan Islam was preserved by him. Recite a salawat. I'm making sure I'm not driving all of you to sleep. It's okay. Even if you want to sleep, masjid is the best place to do so. Just kidding. But Imam was preserving the deen in a very, very difficult situation. To the extent that no one could have even approached the Imam. No one. The history says that Imam had only 4 companions. Brothers and sisters, today we easily practice Islam. We have easy access to information. But at that point, preserving Islam so that it comes to us on this day was a very, very challenging and difficult mission that Imam Sajjad alayhi salam had. Not for a year or two, for 34 years. Why? Because people forgot this hadith of Rasulullah. Inni tarikun fikum thiqlain. I left with you 2 pillars. Kitab Allah wa itrati ahlul bayti. And these 2 will not get separated from each other hatta yarada alayya al-hawd, until they come back to me on the day of judgment. Meaning that an Islam that has one of these pillars only is incomplete. If you have Ahlul Bayt alayhimus salam, or you feel you have Ahlul Bayt alayhimus salam as a Shia, and you have abandoned the Holy Quran, Quran is mahjur, is abandoned and isolated in your homes, you're not going to be able to follow Ahlul Bayt the right way. The same applies to those who said Hasbuna Kitabullah. They said it in their tongues that the book of Allah is sufficient for us, Quran is sufficient for us. Yet they didn't refer to the true mufassirin, to those who truly know what is the meaning behind the verses of the Holy Quran. In the muhkamat of Quran, where the verses are very having clear meanings, you can understand it your way, yourself. But when it comes to mutashabihat, when you have questions, who is going to be able to answer those questions other than the Imam? The Holy Prophet said, it's only Ahlul Bayti, Kitab Allah, wa itrati Ahlul Bayti. They said, Hasbuna Kitab Allah. And to answer their questions about Quran, they referred to fake resources. And I call fake resources anyone but Ahlul Bayt alayhimus salam. Because the answers, if you have a certain medical situation, you want to refer to the best physician. You're not just going to see a physician, right? You're going to go see the ratings and the experience and their resume. Who did people refer to? Ordinary people. They replaced Ali ibn Abi Talib and Ahlul Bayt with people who had zero knowledge of Islam. Non-experts. Imam Sajjad was so lonely. Imam Sajjad had a very difficult time. Yet he had to revive the sunnah of Rasulullah. He had to preserve the deen the way an imam should do. And the third one, he had to keep the tragedy of Karbala and the atrocities happened in the plains of Karbala alive. That's why every time he saw water, he started shedding tears. That's why every time he saw that they're sacrificing a lamb, he started shedding tears. Every single incident, to the extent that people recognized him to be one of the Bakka'in, frequently crying. These tears were not just tears of sympathy and missing his father. Rather, he is reviving or keeping the tragedy of Karbala remembered and alive in the minds of the Islamic nation. With all these restrictions and limitations he had in such situation. Because we are living in a different era and time, we can't even imagine how difficult it was during the times of Imam Sajjad alayhi salam. And therefore, the only source of purification is water. I know it's 10. There's a beautiful hadith that I wanted to touch on from Imam Sajjad alayhi salam, describing the different levels of faith. But inshallah, that is something that I'll owe to you, and I will inshallah talk about it in the next time we get to reunion. But oh Allah, we ask you, this legacy of Ahlul Bayt alayhi salam that we are entrusted with nowadays. We are having the responsibility to safeguard this legacy. Allah, make us successful to inshallah safeguard this legacy and be able to hold on to this banner and inshallah pass it on to our Imam of time that we love and long to inshallah see him and hear his beautiful voice when he introduces himself as the grandson of Sayyid al-Shuhada, Imam Hussein alayhi salam, leaning to the walls of the Kaaba, inshallah. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم السلام عليك يا زين العابدين يا شمس نهار المستغفرين والليلة وقمر ليلة المتهجدين يا علي ibn al-Hussein. The promise is revoked. It's time to leave here. The desert sand is soaked. Your brother's blood here. The chains around your neck are covered in tears. Ya Zain al-Abidin, Ya Zain al-Abidin. You saw your father killed, the just descendant, alone and without help, in thirst and torment. It's ringing in your head, the screams in his tent. Ya Zain al-Abidin, Ya Zain al-Abidin. You hear your nieces cry, the prophet's daughters. You gaze upon the sky. I want my father. They have nobody left, but now there is water. Ya Zain al-Abidin, Ya Zain al-Abidin. The prisoners Kufa bound, so frail but walking, the bodies on the ground, a mother weeping, and nowhere can be found those blood-stained earrings. Ya Zain al-Abidin, Ya Zain al-Abidin. The sun and moon and stars that bowed to Joseph, upon that day went dark. There is no Hussein left, and you are their Imam, in chains and captive. Ya Zain al-Abidin, Ya Zain al-Abidin. It's been said that when Imam leaving Karbala, passing from the body of Sayyid al-Shuhada, Lady Zainab was so worried for Imam Zain al-Abidin to pass out. She said, Ya Zain al-Abidin, oh my Imam, what are you doing to yourself? Ya Hujjat al-Baqin, O the Imam of those who have remained. Ya Mithal al-Madhin, O descendants of those who are from the past. Ya Zain al-Abidin, don't do that to yourself. You're our Imam of our time now. He said, look at the Imam of time, Hussein laying on the ground like this. Sallallahu alayka wa rahmatullah wa barakatuh. هر کجا هست دردی و عللی، ناله پیدا شود ز بیش و کمی. عارفان در طواف یکدیگرند، گاه حاجی شوند و گه حرمی. ناله ماست مثل زلف بتان، بس بلند است پر ز پیچ و خمی. من ز چشم تو رم نخواهم کرد، ندهی یا اگر دهی درمی. دیده من گرفته است تو را، چون لبم که گرفته است دمی. گریه در آستین بود ما را،
بچه حاضر جواب محترمیم. یا زین العابدین یا علی ابن الحسین، ای مسیح دعای شب خیزان، سبز گشته به فصل پاییزان. تو دعاخوان آفتاب شدی، گه جواب و گهی جواب شدی. گه خروشی و گاه میگری، گاه زینب گهی رباب شدی. یعنی با هر کدوم اینا می اومد میشه یه دل سیر گریه میکرد، چون افقها شدن نالایق، بر سر ناق آفتاب شدیم. خمسه اشک را تو یک رکنی، تو به دنیا ستون آب شدی. نزد اهل یقین شدی دریا، نزد اصحاب شک سراب شدی. در 40 سال گریه های روان، شیخ روحانی مذاب شدی. شیخ نه، روح نه، روان هم نه، تو مفاتیح مستجاب شدی. روزخوانان دعا بلد شدن، بهر این طایفه ثواب شدی. عارفان در خم تو تن شستن، بر لب جوی تو کفن شستن. یه جمله روزه بخونم انشالله چند خطی سینه بزنیم. فلک از قدر و جاه افتاده، یوسف من به چاه افتاده. مثل ساعات آخر پدرش، او دو زانو به راه افتاده. بر سر او امام چرخیده، تاج از فرق شاه افتاده. هست جای فلک رخش به زمین، آفتاب اشتباه افتاده. در دو چشمش که کاسه خون است، صحنه قتلگاه افتاده. یادش آمد که از سنان پدرش، نیزه بر زمین گاه گاه افتاده. یادش آمد که دختری نوپا در مغیلان به راه افتاده. یادش آمد دو میوه دلشاد در بن یک گیاه افتاده. یادش آمد که دستهای عمو زیر پای سپاه افتاده. یادش آمد که زیر چکمه شمر آیه های اله افتاده. بمیرم برات، بمیرم برات. میگن هر وقت میدید حیوانی رو دارن ذبح میکنن، میرفت جلو سوال میکرد، میگفت آبش دادیدی یا نه؟ میگفتن آجان ما مسلمانیم، به دستورات دین عمل میکنیم، ذبیحه رو آب میدیم. آقا فرموده باشن من یه بابایی داشتم کربلا بدون این که قطره آب به لبش برسه، حسین السلام علی الحسین الذين قتلوه اتشالا زين العباد ابن الحسين زين العباد ابن الحسين آل عبارا قدیمی ها. پیغمبر من خطب خانه شامم، من خطب خانه شامم، پیغمبر قیامم، من خطب خانه شامم. مظلوم حسین، مظلوم حسین، حسین جان، مظلوم حسین جان، زین العبادم، ابن الحسینم، زین العبادم، ابن الحسین. آل عبارا نور دو عینم، آل عبارا پیغمبر قیامم، پیغمبر قیامم، من خطب خانه شامم، من خطب خانه، پیغمبر قیامم، پیغمبر قیامم، من خطب من خطب خانش. مظلوم حسین، مظلوم حسین، حسین جان، حسین جان، مظلوم حسین، مظلوم حسین، حسین جان، جان، مظلوم جان. دیدم که سیلی شد رسم کوفه، دیدم که سیلی شد رسم کوفه، رخسار شکوفه، زینب پرخون دلش بود، بی پرده محملش بود، بی پرده محملش. پیغمبر قیام، پیغمبر قیامم، من خود نشامم، من خود پیغمبر قیامم، پیغمبر من یاد همه قدیمی ها بخیر. من خود بخوام مظلوم حسین، حسین جان،
حسین جان، کربلا، 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 وای وای وای، کربلا، 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 وای وای وای، کربلا، کرب و بلا کرب و بلا وای 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 کرب و بلا کرب و بلا کرب و بلا وای 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 کرب و بلا کرب و بلا کرب و بلا وای 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 زائرتم با یه سلام با یه سلام ساده توی چشام بارون عشق وقتی به راه افتاده توی چشام بارون عشق وقتی به راه افتاده شکر خدا من گدا پای علم ایستادم مهر و وفا کرب و بلا مگه میره از یادم مهر و وفات کرب و بلات مگه میره از یادم کرب و بلا کرب و بلا کرب و بلا وای 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 کرب و بلا یادم از بچگیام کرم تو با من بود توی دلم قاب عکس حرم تو با من بود توی دلم قاب عکس حرم تو با من بود تو رو خدا با یه نگاه منو دعا کن آقا سینه زنه همیشه کرب و بلا کن آقا سینه زنه همیشه کرب و بلا کن آقا شکر خدا من گدا پای علم ایستادم مهر و وفات کرب و بلات مگه میره از یادم مهر و وفات کرب و بلات مگه میره از یادم کرب و بلا کرب و بلا کرب و بلا وای 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 کرب و بلا هر جا میرم نشونیه نوکریمم باهامه فقط حسین فقط حسین فقط حسین آقامه فقط حسین فقط حسین فقط حسین آقامه هر جا میرم نشونیه نوکریمم باهامه فقط حسین فقط حسین فقط حسین آقامه فقط حسین فقط حسین فقط حسین آقامه من الازل الی الابد شور دلم عاشوراست کعبه رو دوست دارم ولی قبله دل کربلاست کعبه رو دوست دارم ولی قبله دل کربلاست شکر خدا من گدا پای علم ایستادم مهر و وفات کرب و بلات مگه میره از یادم مهر و وفات کرب و بلات مگه میره از یادم کرب و بلات کرب و بلا وای 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 کرب و بلا کرب و بلا وای 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 کرب و بلا کرب و بلا کرب و بلا وای وای حسین ایها الامیر حسین دستمو بگیر حسین ایها الامیر حسین دستمو بگیر لحظه ای چشم من از تو دل نمی کنه دوری از کربلا قاتل دل منه لحظه ای چشم من از تو دل نمی کنه دوری از کربلا قاتل دل منه دلت شکسته بیا شدی تو خسته بیا دلت شکسته بیا شدی تو خسته بیا میده به نوکر و میدر باب ارباب دلت شکسته بیا شدی تو خسته بیا میده به نوکر و میدر باب اونی که دل میبره من و تو رو میخره زهیر و هر رو خریدر باب با میون خیمه ارباب عاشقی میشه منا حتما اهل بهشته من احب حسینا میون خیمه ارباب عاشقی میشه منا حتما اهل بهشته من احب حسینا من الازل تا قیامت دل من زیر دینه اگه آبرو دارم از عزای حسین من الازل تا قیامت دل من زیر دینه اگه آبرو دارم از عزای حسین یا حسین سار الله 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 سار الله یا حسین سار الله یا حسین سار الله یا حسین سار الله وای حسین 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 آقا به هوای کربلا سوگند آقا به شبای کربلا سوگند از تو نمیشه یه لحظه هم دلکن آقا به غروب کربلا سوگن آقا به قلوب عاشقا سوگن از تو نمیشه یه لحظه هم دلکن دل نمیکنم ازت بذار بگم فقط دوست دارم دل نمیکنم ازت بذار بگم فقط دوست دارم زندگیم برای تو سرم فدای تو دوست دارم دل نمیکنم ازت بذار بگم فقط دوست دارم زندگیم برای تو سرم فدای تو دوست دارم آقا ابی عبدالله 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 آقا تو روزایی که گرفتارم آقا چی بگم وقتی تو رو دارم وقتی هنوزم بهت بدهکارم آقا می به این پیاله میریزی آقا چجوری ازت بخوام چیزی وقتی هنوزم بهت بدهکارم آقا شب روز شام معراجم آقا مثل موجی بین امواجم خیلی به هوای روز محتاجم آقا با تو من خیالم آسوده است آقا بس هوای شهرم آلوده است خیلی به هوای روز محتاجم روشنای راه من همین ماه من راه چارم روشنای راه من همین ماه من راه چارم من مرید زینبم میریزه از لبم دوست دارم دل نمیکنم ازت بذار بگم فقط دوست دارم زندگیم برای تو سرم فدای تو دوست دارم آقا ابی عبدالله آقا
عبدالله آقا ابی عبدالله 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 ای دار و ندار عالم با تو فقط خوب میشه حالم برکت روز و ماه و سالم دونه دونه اشکامم که واسه تو می نویسه نامم برا تو بمیرم از خدامه تو رو دوست دارم دوست دارم ای آقا ای آقا ای آقا ای آقا دوست دارم
به خدا به خدا دوست دارم مولای با وفا دوست دارم دوست بارون گریه ها داره عطر نفس ها تو میاره همه وجودم انتظاره دوباره شب اربعین ما رو برسونی اون سرزمین که میخونه با ما روح الامین تو رو دوست دارم دوست دارم کربلا عشق میدهد کربلا آه میدهد کربلا عشق میدهد کربلا آه میدهد کربلا قدرت نگاه میدهد چشمها را باید شد جور دیگر باید دید چشمها را باید شد جور دیگر باید دید کربلا را از چشم اهل باور باید دید کربلا را از چشم اهل باور باید دید کربلا سرزمین بیداری کربلا سرزمین تغییر است کربلا سرزمین بیداری کربلا سرزمین تغییر است هنر مرد به وقت آمدن است ای برادر بیا بیا دیر است ای برادر بیا بیا دیر یار میطلبد امام جامعه علمدار میطلبد عمار میطلبد یار میطلبد یار میطلبد امام جامعه علمدار عمار میطلبد یار میطلبد لکلبک لکلبک یا ابا عبدالله بسم الله الرحمن الرحیم الهی عظم البلاء و بره الخفا و انکشف الغطاء و انقطع الرجاء و ضاقت الارض و منعت السماء و انت المستعان و الیک مشتکا و علیک معول فی الشدة و الرخاء اللهم صل علی أولي الأمر الذين فرضت علينا طاعتهم وعرفتنا بذلك منزلتهم ففرج عنا بحقهم فرجا كلام البصر أو هو أغرى يا محمد
یا علی اکفیانی فانکما کافیان وانصرانی فانکما ناصران یا مولانا یا صاحب الزمان راضی شدی آقا از ما آقا جان الغوث ادرکنی الصائب الأجل برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين بحق محمد به تو از دور سلام به سلیمان جهان از طرف مور سلام به حسین از طرف وصله ناجو لحظات آخرش نفسش بالا نمیاد ابی عبدالله اومد بالا سرش یه نگاش کرد گفت وفیتو آقا به عهدم وفا کردم راضی شدی یا نه از من ای پسر فاطمه ما حالا هزار و اندی سال از این گوشه دنیا محضر امام زمان بگیم آقا جان اگه اومدیم این شبا فقط به عشق شما اومدیم فقط به عشق جدت اومدیم فقط به احترام مادرت فاطمه زهرا اومدیم از ما راضی شدی یا نه این مجالس رو از ما قبول کردی یا نه مولا جان هرچه در توان داشتیم گذاشتیم اگر کم بود مثل موری که به محضر سلیمان می‌رود السلام علیک یا ابا عبدالله و علی الارواح التي علت بفنائک لنک منی سلام الله ابدا ما بقیت و بقی اللیل و النهار ولا جعله الله آخر العهد منی لزیارتکم السلام علی الحسین و علی حسین و علی حسین و علی ابي الفضل العباس اخي الحسين وعلى زينب الكبرى بنت امير المؤمنين وعلى زين العابدين السلام عليكم يا اهل بيت النبوة جميعا ورحمة الله وبركاته. Oh Allah, you have said it in the Holy Quran that لَإِن شَكَرْتُمْ لَأَزِيدَنَّكُمْ I'll give you more if you show gratefulness, if you express gratitude. Oh Allah, make us to be amongst the Shakirin. Grant us the ability to practically express our gratitude and gratefulness. Ya Allah, فرج امام زمان ما نزدیک بگردان به واسطه ولایت اهل بیت این آب حیاتی که تمام عالم و آدم به واسطه این آب حیات زندند و تنفس میکنن به واسطه اوست که تمام نعمتها به ما میرسه به واسطه اوست اگر آسمان بر ما میباره به واسطه اوست اگر ابواب رحمت بازه. خدایا ما رو به این معدن طهارت رساندین ما رو از آلودگی های نفسمون مسون و محفوظ بعد از امشب بدار. خدایا پروردگارا
با خلوص این عاشقانت به اینجا اومدن، به این خانه نورانی پناه آوردن. ما رو در پناه خود امام حسین، ما رو در سایه سار لطف دائمیت از گزند بلایا و حوادث آخر الزمان محفوظ بدار. دست ما رانی و کمتر از آنی از خانه حسین ابن علی جدا مفرما. خدایا پروردگارا قسمت میدهیم به حق این شبها و به حق این لحظات ما رو برای امام زمانمون به درد بخور قرار بده. نسل و ذریه‌مون رو برای اسلام و مسلمین در همه حال وجودشون رو مفید و نافع قرار بده. خدایا پروردگارا آنچه گفتیم و نگفتیم این شب آخری، شب مزده، شب عنایت به خوبانت عطا کردی، این دهه به بعضی مقامات دادی، کرامات دادی. ما از تو خودتو میخوایم، ما از تو حسین ابن علی رو میخوایم، ما از تو امیرالمؤمنین رو میخوایم. حاجت ما همینه خدایا، حاجات مادی و معنویمون رو در این خونه آوردیم، ما رو از محرومین این شبها قرار مده. پروردگارا بارلا نسل و ذریه‌مون رو محفوظ و مصون بدار. پدر مادرامون اگر در این دنیا هستن عاقبتشون ختم به خیر قرار بده. اگر دستشون از این دنیا کوتاهه رب ارحمهما کما ربیانی صغیرا. اجزا ما بالاحسان احسانا و بالسیئات غفرانا. بالنبی و آل رحم الله من یقرأ الفاتحة قبلها صلوات.
My God, this tribulation has become agonizing.
إلهي أعظم البلاء وبرح الخفاء.
It's now out in the open.
وانكشف الغطاء.
The veil has been lifted.
وانقطع الرجاء.
All hope has been lost.
وضاقت
Everyone is at a loss.
ومنعت السماء.
The heaven has been blocked.
وأنت المستعان.
You are the one from whom help is sought.
وإليك المشتكى.
You are the one to whom grievances are brought.
وعليك المعول في الشدة.
You are the one who is relied upon in times of both severity and prosperity.
اللهم صل
O God, bless Muhammad and members of his family who are the rightful leaders. You have made it obligatory for us to obey them, and through this obedience you have made their true status known to us.
ففرج عنا.
So please give us relief for their sake, a swift and prompt relief within the blink of an eye, or even quicker than that.
يا محمد.
O Muhammad, O Ali,
يا علي.
O Ali, O Muhammad, protect me as you two are truly capable of doing so. Help me as you two are truly capable of helping me.
يا مولانا.
O our Master,
يا صاحب الزمان.
the Lord of the age, help me, help me,
أدركني
Take hold of me.
أدركني
Take hold of me.
أدركني
Take hold of me.
الساعة
At this moment.
الساعة
At this moment.
الساعة
At this moment.
العجاب
Hurry.
العجاب
Hurry.
العجاب
Hurry.
يا
O God, the most merciful of all who show mercy,
بحق محمد
have mercy on me for the sake of Muhammad and the pure members of his family.